Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Titan Talk with me, the Anime Nay. I hope everybody has been enjoying their holiday season. I definitely have taken a little bit of a break, But yeah, I've been struggling a tiny bit to stay focused for the end of the year, but that's okay, y'all. We all made it through 2020. It is now 2021. Big stuff happening this year. Yeah, finally. But yeah, so today I'm feeling really good, really good today, you guys, because I get to record with someone super special, someone who kind of started me on my anime journey in general, and that person is my brother, Ben. Everybody welcome Ben to the pod. Yeah, like I said, Ben is 100% the reason I started watching anime. I mean, I used to watch you draw Dragon Ball Z characters and creating your own characters. Do you remember Gage? Was that his name, Gage?
Gage, oh yeah. I'm still on YouTube now. I'm like, gotta bring
Yes.
all that back.
Yeah, so I used to watch Ben anime, and then we would sit and watch Dragon Ball Z together, and he started me watching Death Note, all of that. So pretty much I just grew up watching him watch anime thinking it was cool. So then I started watching, kind of on my own, and now here we are. So what are you watching currently? What's in your rotation?
Currently, definitely Black Clover, Fire Force. I was holding off on Attack on Titan because I'm waiting for the dub version to come out. But now Attack on Titan and started one episode of Jujutsu Kaisen. So that's that's the
Okay.
only one. Even though it's even all of them, I don't know why I didn't get spoiled on the dubs but yeah, that's in rotation right now.
Yeah, I feel that. So I started watching Fire Force a little bit ago. I like it. I don't love it though. People love Fire Force. It's cool, but I got halfway through the first season and I kind of stopped. It's good, but I feel like there's some other stuff that I'd rather be watching right now. How do you feel?
I mean, shoot, Fire Force is I'm trying to think because it didn't really have for me. It didn't really hit a slowdown because I was always curious, I guess, as far as the whole story and the world that they had set up around the main character and stuff. So it was I'm trying to think of a time where I really kind of was ready to disconnect from it. But I mean, it was always yeah,
Pretty
I
decent.
didn't really have it didn't have any slowdown moment.
I low-key be pausing right before, you know how it slows down a little bit right before
Yeah,
things get crazy. I always
they had them 2 or 3 dry episodes. You'd be like, I don't know where this is going.
right. See, I need to just stop doing that. I need to stop doing that. Okay, what's so funny, y'all, is that me and Ben have talked so much about doing an anime / manga or something like that together. And one
Right,
day, one day I'm gonna hit him
right.
I have this idea, let's do it. I think often, okay, what do I want? I have some ideas, but I don't have anything that I'm this is the one,
Yeah. Once you get started, you gotta start making it make sense. It's some brainstorming that's involved, which you already know.
Absolutely. Yeah, I already know. And Ben is so good. My issue is I don't draw. I can't draw. So I'll see stuff in my head. I wish I could kind of draw something, get something out, but I'm dang, I can't. But it's gonna be okay. One of these days we'll figure it out. Okay, question. What so far has been your favorite arc of Attack on Titan? Out of the seasons that we've seen. So wait, before we get to that, I will tell y'all that Ben does read the manga. So I told him before this, no spoilers. No spoilers. But yeah, so far in the anime, what has been your favorite arc?
I'll say probably starting off because you didn't know anything about the world. The
Mm-hmm.
first season, first arc, like the because the first season was actually kind of long. So I would say the first
Was.
like that first 15, like first 15 episodes, I'd say like everything you really didn't know too much about the world other than these kids growing up, like a bunch of Titans outside this wall, Aaron basically just being like hell bent on basically killing all Titans. And you're like, I'm trying to see if, if Buddy gonna be able to do, like accomplish his goal. But like not knowing how I guess how season 4 kind of like expand, like not really knowing that from their perspective. And I guess it was a kudos to the writing too, but like it really had you thinking from these people's perspective that this was like the world and how everything existed basically. So I would say then.
Exactly. Yeah, I feel that. I was in like this little like anime chat on Clubhouse, and somebody brought up like we were just talking about Reiner, and we can talk a lot more about him later, but I just started like someone brought up the fact that they just still cannot empathize with Reiner, like they just still do not care about all the people on Marley. And I was like, I feel that, but at the same time, like if we would have started like the parallels between what's happening right now in the anime, like in season 4 on Marley, and what happened back in the day, and like now what we know is like Paradise Island or whatever, Paradis. It's if we would have started with season 4, you would totally like, you would love them, you know what I mean? You really empathize with them and be like, I understand why they're doing what they're doing, or like why they're forced to do what they're doing. But I would say for me, my favorite season is between, okay, I didn't think that I loved season 2, but I went back and was just looking over like what are the craziest moments for me, and a lot of them came from season 2. Like Reiner and Bertolt coming out as Titans was crazy for me. Like that was insane. Ymir, like it just, I feel like so much stuff was happening. Like we saw we saw Eren use his founding Titan power, which was like, I was low-key lost a little. I was like, what is going on? But I would say like between season 2 and the second part of season 3, like the fight between Levi and Beast Titan, watching Erwin lead everybody to their death, all of that, like Armin trying to fight Colossal Titan, like all of that was so good.
Hey, call me messed up, but I rock with Aaron. As far as like,
I do
I
too.
get it. But I was like, dang, why my man's had to go like that, man? They should have kept him. That's all. But I
I
actually
know.
like the way I'm like, dude didn't got his arm bit off, still giving out commands like, no, we ain't going. Stick to the plan.
Yes, do you
I'm
remember
like,
that?
hey.
Yes, this man was hanging out of a Titan talking about charge,
Oh,
protect Eren. Like,
yeah, it was either him or what's his name? I can
Armin.
boy, I don't even Ari, yeah, I do not even want. I don't know. I mean, I'm starting to like him. I get it. I don't know. I don't care for the used to be soft characters that's developing. I get it. He's involved in it all that, but it's like,
I feel you. He is the epitome of the soft character that people have to push to be a leader. Like he's super smart, but he's not
yeah,
doing what he needs to do.
yeah,
He's not going to be the same leader that Erwin was. Like that's not happening. Like Erwin literally led hundreds of people to their death, and they just did it. Okay, cool. Let's get into this episode. I'm gonna do what I call a brief recap, but this episode for real was actually jam-packed. I feel like almost every single sentence was important, but obviously I'm not gonna tell y'all the sentences. But yeah, I'm gonna go through a little recap, and feel free to like jump in with anything if I'm missing anything. But there are a couple of spots that I can't lie, I was a little confused, but basically we start this episode off. We find out that the mysterious man, Mr. Kruger, has been having Falco send letters to Mr. Kruger's home for him. So Falco's been pretty much just like sending letters from him. And he's doing that because he wants the letters to arrive safely so that no one finds out that he really isn't sick. He thinks that if anyone in the Marley government finds his letters, that they'll find out that he's not sick and pretty much send him home. So we find that out. That's in the beginning of the episode. Then we're transported and we meet the Tiber family. So this is a royal family, and they're in town visiting. and they pretty much get to meet, or Commander Magath gets to meet them. And again, Commander Magath is the commander of the warrior unit. So we meet Willie, who is the head of the Tiber family, and he informs Magath that the Warhammer Titan is amongst the family, but he doesn't tell us who it is. He just tells them that they're in the room. So we get to see everyone in the room. We don't know who it is, but everyone, of course, has their guesses. But yeah, so Willie tells us that he's in town to see the statue of, I think it's Halos or something like that, the Marleyan who slayed, I think it was the first Titan, or it was a Marleyan who slayed a Titan and basically became a hero. But Magath is unimpressed. He's just kind of like, yeah, he's just unimpressed in general by Willie's sentiments and just by the statue as a whole. And he reveals that he's basically against Marley continuing to march toward war. And throughout their back and forth, it's revealed to us that the Tibers are secretly controlling the Marley government. But Willie wants to make it seems like he wants to right all of the wrongs currently going on and ask for Magath's help in doing so. And I will add that Magath does not, it seems like Magath has already known this. He knows that the Tiber family is running everything from the shadows. But we'll talk about that too a little bit later. We'll get more into that. But then we get a couple of short scenes. We get to see Porco with Peak, and Peak is basically walking on all fours. And they have a little awkward interaction where Porco pretty much sees her butt and is like, "Why are you walking like that?" type of thing. So yeah, it was just a little cute little thing. And then we get to see Reiner. He's pretty much providing counsel on Paradis, providing the best attack strategies, trying to figure out which way they should attack when they make their next advancement on Paradis. But he admits that there's not really a good answer to most of the general's questions. There's just a lot going on Paradis. There's a lot of things that are unknown, so he doesn't really have all the answers. And the general gets kind of upset, and he's like, forget it, I shouldn't have let an Eldian speak anyway. And you can tell that pretty much everyone in the warrior unit is a little bit annoyed of this, and they're tired of being seen as less than, and they're tired of being looked down on. But they all go outside and they see the kids training, the kids being Falco and Gabby and all the rest of them. I always say all the rest of them because I can never remember their names.
Right.
But lo and behold, they see Falco beat Gabby in a race, and everyone's pretty much really excited for him, and everyone's impressed, including Reiner. And the kids are walking home, and we get a very Naruto-esque Team 7 scene, which is this is not usual for Attack on Titan. I feel like we get one or two scenes like this per season, but we see the kids walking home celebrating Falco's win, but Gabby is pissed, and she's trying to figure out why Falco is even trying so hard, because she's like, I made a name for myself during the war. Why are you even trying? You're not going to be the Armored Titan. But Falco tells her and proclaims that he's doing all of this for her. And we know that he likes Gabby, and he's pretty much, trying to save her from this life of being a Titan. But Gabby's like, what are you talking about? I want to be a Titan, step aside. But of course, she doesn't understand that he likes her. And yeah, so we get to see more of this whole Naruto Team 7. I always refer to these scenes as Team 7 teams. Whenever we have, the little anime kids walking around getting into trouble or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then they begin to discuss the festival and how great it's going to be for Marley and specifically the Eldians. And this is the first time, though, that I realized that there are Eldians everywhere and not just in Marley and Paradis. The whole time I was thinking that Eldians only lived in Marley and then they were sent. Some of them, went to Paradis, but I didn't know there were these internment camps all over the world, and that all over the world Eldians are pretty much discriminated against. But that's revealed because one of the kids talk about how they're treated a lot better in Marley than they are in other countries. But yeah, so basically the Eldians are oppressed everywhere. And Gabby is team, show them we aren't devils. All we have to do is just show them how great we are, blah, 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 which, we already know when you're oppressed, it don't matter what you do. People are going to continue to see you how they see you. But,
She's basically the Marley version of Aaron.
Exactly.
Female embodiment.
No, wow. You know what? I didn't even make that connect. We'll have to talk a little bit more about that too. Okay, cool. So after that, we see another, which I'm going to say is a confusing combo between Willie and Magath. Honestly, I watched it 3 times and I still barely understand what was happening, but basically it seems like Willie is giving Magath, like the keys to the military. Like he's like, the military belongs to you, but Magath is like, nah, like you're still in control. But Willie insists that he's like, I'm trying, it's really just me holding the wheel. But Willie seems stressed, and he claims that he wants to let go of the wheel, but he's super burdened. But then Magath says something about rats. I honestly don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to watch the second episode to see like what they mean to each other, because like Willie the whole time seems stressed, but Magath is just like, I don't know. Magath seems very composed, but yeah. So they have a conversation about, what's about to happen. It was kind of confusing. But next, we get a conversation between Mr. Kruger and Falco, and Mr. Kruger's thanking him for his help, sending back the letters to his hometown. And we're back at the hospital, by the way. And we find out that one of the people at the hospital is actually Grisha's dad. So Mr. Kruger ends up talking to him, and he asked him about basically the guy, Grisha's dad, Mr. Yeager, mentions Falco's uncle and how he used to be the leader of the Restorationists. And to spare their family, that's how Falco and Colt ended up joining the warrior unit and are trying to become Titans. But after he reveals this information, Mr. Kruger asks him, he asks Dr. Yeager and Mr. Yeager if he has any regrets. But Dr. Yeager spirals, breaks down, has a whole breakdown, and literally says, he just starts going in, is like, everything is my fault. Like he starts thinking about Grisha and when his daughter died and everything. And we learned that Mr. Yeager is actually a patient at the hospital. So yeah. And then we're transported to like this really fancy dinner. And there's a moment where one of the kids spills wine on one of the people there, and she pretty much saves him. She's not a Eldian. I think she's from the East, but she knows that if they find out that the Eldian kid spilled wine on her, that pretty much he would be messed up. So she saves him, and we don't find out who the woman is, but I think that she's probably going to come back. Like the scene left me feeling like, okay, we might find out more about her. But we also get to see Black people for the first time at this little dinner, which is pretty cool. Like, I don't know. I didn't really understand what the dinner was. I was like, is this like a royal thing? Like, but yeah, we got some Black people up in there. I was like, okay, hold on. But yeah, one of the Tybers gets up to speak, and he's basically babbling, but Willie steps in and tells him that he tells the entire room that tomorrow in Liberia, which is one of the Eldian internment camps, he's going to finally solve the solution. He's going to finally solve the problem of the Eldians and give us all a solution. And he's going to reveal it in a play tomorrow during the festival in Liberia. So the next day, the festival starts. It's a standard festival. We get more of the like montage clips of all the kids, Falco and all of them playing around with Reiner and Porco. Again, very Team 7-esque. And pretty much everyone ends up leaving, and Gabby ends up saying that, she feels like things are changing, like things are getting a little bit better, like she just feels a shift. And it seems very positive. But then we cut to the end of the episode, and everyone's arriving and showing up at this play at night, and Falco's missing. But he comes out of nowhere, and he gets Reiner, and he says that he has a surprise for him. So he leads Reiner down into this basement, into this super dark room. And who is there? No one other than Mr. Kruger, aka Eren Yeager. Now,
I'm like, everybody should know he's Eren at this point.
Please, like from the moment he almost appeared on the screen, I was like, that's absolutely Eren. Like, it could have been no one else to me. I'm like, who else could that have been to y'all? But absolutely Eren. So, okay. What is up with this Magath character? I'm so confused. So he's like a Marleyan general, but is he not necessarily like with Marleyan ideologies or what? I don't know. I'm not understanding like where he's coming from here.
I mean, really, he's just like the second-hand man to the Tiger family. Tiger family pretty much like, at this point, you can look at it as like they pull the strings, are the ones who really pull the strings behind closed doors, like on a government level. If you think about it, they spoke of a Titan, right? The Hammer Titan. Well, that means that they're Eldian, right? As far as if they can turn into a Titan. So it's kind of funny, like if you really think about the fact that they're kind of like the same at race of the oppressed people, but they're able to watch, but they sit back in like a rich homes basically and kind of just watch the same people just get talked to like trash. You know what I mean? It's kind of like funny when you think about that aspect of it, like the social aspect that they kind of try to employ in the show.
Right, exactly. I'm like, hold on, hold on, hold on. So we all, we're all blown at Marley, like, dang, they bogus, but it really is Eldians who are oppressing other Eldians. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just
Yeah.
wonder how it is in other
Hey.
countries too, like who's pulling those strings. But yeah, that's that. I was shocked to find that out. And we don't know currently who the Warhammer Titan is, but I have some ideas of who it could be, but they really showed us so many people. Like, it was like little kids up in there. There was a maid in there. I kind of feel like it might be the maid only because like she's a worker person, but also it could be Willie. Like, why would it not be Willie? But you already know who it is, don't you? Yeah.
The actual hammer. But let me ask you this though. All right, so one of the things that used to always kind of confuse me as far as like the transforming or like the yeah, I guess the Titans, the variant Titans, the ones that you can transform from a human to a Titan, this, that, and the third. Did it ever throw you like? Did you ever question like why did Ymir's Jaw Titan look different from I guess the recent Jaw Titan we just seen?
I did, but I just assumed that they all transform slightly depending on who is like the carrier, like what human is
Mhm.
operating that Titan. But I also thought that the what is it called, the dang, like I thought that Gallier or Porco, I thought he had on a mask. That's not like a Titan mask, or is that Titan have that on his face?
Oh, just the Jaw Titan. Yeah, no, yeah, that's just he just all bite. Was supposed to be all bite.
Okay.
Like I almost want to say, I'm pretty sure the Jaw Titan. I don't know if they're gonna ever do it in the show, but I'm pretty sure like the Jaw Titan could probably like bite through like the armor's Titan armor. Like you know what I mean? Like as far as like
Yeah.
the facial bite of it. But
Yeah.
uh yeah, because I was just kind of like it seemed like that Jaw Titan was a little bit more like souped up. You know what I mean? Compared to
Yeah.
like how
Yeah.
Ymir kind of was kind of like a little small. I just thought she was like a little gremlin titan.
I did
Yeah.
too. I found out more about the Jaw Titan because I was like, what is Ymir's Titan? I was like, she looked like a regular small Titan to me. So when
Mm-hmm.
just with like a consciousness. So I looked it up and that's how I found out about the Jaw Titan. But yeah, no, like Porco's definitely looks more like a specialty Titan for me, for sure.
Yeah.
But
And even
yeah.
like I didn't even realize too, like the cart titan. Like she basically was over there like the whole time as well. Like if you really think about it, like the cart titan was definitely over there with Aaron's brother. I was like, but then I only thing I'm shutting up. I'm shutting up. Because all
Yeah,
that's gonna
don't
go
yeah, yeah.
into
Shut up, shut up. You
because I look, I got questions. Like, I mean, like honestly, manga wise, a lot of the questions are being answered, but it's like it's still a joy to actually, go back and actually see it being presented. You know what I mean?
right,
As far as
yeah.
because I mean, a lot of this stuff, if you read the manga, like you, I guess we were reading this part of the story like 2 years ago, and like it was
Wow.
just way like those manga chapters, like 50 chapters. I think they coming out like once a month. You know what I mean? So it was just like a long extended story, but it was just like mind blown. Like what the heck? Like seeing the Eight Titan throwing damn missiles or like like just bombs at the boats. You know what I mean? I'm sitting there like,
Yeah.
what the heck? Like at one point, rocks was the greatest weapon this man was throwing. Like, and it's like now. they actually got technology and planes, and I'm like, what the heck? So
No,
yeah, it's
it's a totally different Attack on Titan. Like they literally have horse and carriages over in Paradis, and in Marley they have guns, missiles, like you said. Like it's a totally
mm-hmm.
different world. So I'll say, okay, so as a manga reader then, was it apparent in the manga when you read it that it was Eren? Because like we just talked about, I feel like in the anime it was very apparent. Like the first episode that we saw Mr. Kruger, I was like, oh, that has to be Eren, but I don't know how, but it has to be him. So in the manga, was it like that, or was it like really a reveal?
When I was reading it, I was just kind of like, who the heck is dude?
Mm,
Like at first, I'm like, he got long hair, and I'm looking at his body. I'm like, he fucked up as far as like no leg. I think missing a leg and an arm. I think he only had like an arm and leg, I believe. Like,
right, for sure that leg is gone, but I think the arm might be gone.
yeah. So like, and then, but they kept showing them giving these letters. As far as like reading, it's like he's giving these letters to little boy, and he's taking those to Reiner. And I'm like, okay, it has to. I'm like, is this possibly? Because at the end of the day, like at the very end of, they kind of gave hints too, because at the very end of, I guess, the third season of the anime, they should, if you peep, Aaron hair was long.
Yeah.
They was giving hints that he was, he's gonna grow his hair out, uh, things like that. So it's like you oh my god. I just want to say, like, just be to like, yeah, this season here. Yeah, but I think that after like because I feel like if this is going to be the last season, then this is going to have to be like the mimic of like the first season. They're gonna have to go like 20, maybe possibly, hopefully 30 episodes in, like how the first season was. Because it's so much. I would say the first episode, 4 episodes probably that we watched was probably the first chapter. I would like going into like the time skip of the saga. So like even I'm pretty sure they're gonna speed it up and it's gonna fit in more information in episodes. But I'm like, with as much
Right.
stuff is gonna actually happen, yeah, it's gonna be we got a nice long season.
Right, and that's what I'm confused on because other manga readers have said the same thing that like it's not going like chapter episode chapter, like it's really like one chapter is a few episodes, and we have a lot of chapters to get through. No,
Yep, I would say so. Especially to get in, especially if they're going all the way to the end. That's what I mean. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have episodes where they kind of like cut the meat out of certain like manga chapters, like like because to be honest, this manga chapter wise, the chapters I believe that were just information chapters, because like I said again, on the manga side, each Attack on Titan chapter is about, I think, like 50 pages,
mm-hmm.
maybe 45. So like each so Attack on Titan was the only manga, at least on my end. I don't read a whole bunch of them, but like the ones that I would kind of read, like it's like the only one that it was just like had full political chapters where it was just like information, like this entire, like chapter was just like a whole political debate or something like that. So I believe like those chapters are probably, you can condense like those entire chapters as political talk. You can condense that to like the first 12 minutes of the episode, as far as
Right,
just
right.
verbally talking. So it'll probably catch up. But what I was gonna say was, I think that once you kind of get to the meat of the story, I think that Aaron is probably gonna take that crown though, as far as being like the best.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think he probably would to everybody once it gets to that point of this, everybody gets to that point as far as like on the animated side. I think it's gonna be like unanimous across the board that Aaron is the best like main character turn possible, like depending on how you look at it, possible protagonist as far as like we all know and understand why he has such a hate for the Titans, and actually seeing even us on our end as being the viewers, this whole entire world being opened up. And them being a part of this world, and just seeing, him process different things and his decisions he make. Like, I think he's gonna take that crown as far as being like the best character, yeah, protagonist, basically main character protagonist, I would say.
You know what? I can see that for sure. I can see that because I every time I watch this show think, what is he about to do? And so like there's been a lot of debating about like who is for. So okay, again, I was in like another little like chat or whatever talking about Attack on Titan, and in the chat we were discussing like not who's in the right per se, but who's fighting for who. Like everyone has their own agenda. Like no one is really for all Eldians, right? Like in the beginning, Eren was for the people on Paradis, and now that we have a grander scope of everything, it's like, who is Zeke really trying to protect? Like just the people in his family? Does Zeke have ulterior motives? Which I 100% think that he does, but who are the restorationists and Marley? Like who is really trying to, like, who are the bad guys? Like who really are the bad guys, And at this point to me, it just seems so unclear. So I can't even say like, okay, maybe Eren infiltrated, like all of them infiltrated because they're about to destroy all of Marley. Because it's a bigger problem than all of Marley at this point, right? Like maybe, like, I don't know. It is just, I keep going through my brain of like, what? And it has to be grander than that, right? Like, I don't know.
Man.
And it's crazy because I know that you know so much. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Okay, so at this point in the story, are you anti Zeke? I love Zeke's character. I can't lie. So I just be curious to know because I know a lot of people like
I'm
hate
all
Zeke for
right.
what he did.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like all right, with Zeke, at first I was
Okay,
mainly like when I didn't know anything. I was when I
right.
didn't know, like, when the only thing I knew was
He betrayed his father.
yeah, like even going so as far as like that was it, like Aaron's brother, and well, yeah, brother. So it's kind of like at first it was just like, all right, he betrayed his father when he was a kid. Even like them fishing out the story, I don't know, he just never took to me. Now that I know the background of everything, even though like him betraying his father as a kid, even now, like it's almost like he has the writer has like, when you even think about just like the social aspects of it, like, I mean, he was a kid, and he just easily manipulated to get to get them to tell him, some
Right.
secrets that he pretty much knew. That's why Zeke having, and he doesn't technically know. So like, even on the, I wonder, have they? I'm trying to think before I say it. Like, have they showed that in the anime? Like, why the girl was trying to figure out why Zeke had his unique, I guess, capabilities as the Ape Titan or the Beast Titan.
Yeah. So they had a little scene where Colt was asking Zeke, like, you seem like a superstar, everyone listens to you. But we talked, so me and I think somebody else, we talked about it on one of my podcast episodes, but they told us in the anime in season 3 that his mom was a royal or something like that. Like she had royal blood, like she was a direct descendant, not a direct descendant, but like she had royal blood.
Yeah,
So I was just
she basically
assuming that
a
because he had
royal.
that.
Yeah, it just gives him an extra little. Same thing like what's her name, Krista, or the
Right,
Queen.
Historia, Krista,
Yeah,
yeah.
like if she actually was to take some kind of Titan serum, because she is royal blood, like she would get, like, she would become a specialty Titan in that form. That's why I was asking too, going into like why I was asking, did you have a question why Ymir's Jaw Titan, like, just features were different than what is, I can't even think of his name,
Porco.
but the new
Porco.
Porco.
Mm-hmm.
like why hit, why their jaw titans looked different. Because I think it's kind of, I don't know if it's, I don't want to say like evolution or anything like that, but I think like one, like you said, like it like it varies based on like the actual person. But I think
Mhm.
like the, I guess like blood, like I don't know, so it got to be something like in like the blood now, as far as like if you get that Titan capability, because like the main reason why Historia can never pretty much get a, I guess, any type of Titan blood put in on anything like that was because the founder king would pretty much take over her body. So it's because of her blood. Like she wouldn't, it
Right.
wouldn't like, you know.
Right.
So
Like all of like the original yeah, like the original founding titan or whatever, like their will would be passed on to her and she would pretty much like take on whatever.
it's like the first king's will. Like it's it's not even it's not even like the actual Titans. Ymir was the very first Titan, ever born or created or whatever, like ran into
Right.
like the devil or whatever like that. It's not Ymir's will
Right.
when
It's
the
not
king, like when
Ymir.
the royal. Yeah, so like I never even well, I'm pretty sure they'll clear that up too. I never understood that. Like Ymir it is technically the founding Titan.
Right. So why is their will not the like
Yeah. Why is it the king's will and not the actual Titan, like the actual founder's Titan's will? So it's some kind of, and honestly, based off the story and off the writing, I would say it got to be something once they kind of open that out a little bit more. Because I haven't, two of the chapters on some like negative stuff, which I know goes into this stuff, I haven't actually read, but I'm pretty sure that it's probably all due to like a myth. Not due, but yeah, it's gonna. I think it's gonna all correlate to like being mentally slaved into to a mentality of thinking something. Like you know what I mean?
I
Like
agree. I agree. And I've been questioning, if the founding Titan's ability is to, the coordinate is to manipulate memory, thoughts, or whatever, like all of that stuff, like who's to say that someone did not manipulate more than just the people who went to parody? You know what I mean? Like it could be so much going on. Like you said, like mentally like trapping people in some state of mind or in some state of being and they're just going along with it. But yeah, no, I totally agree. I just man, this show is crazy. I have so many
I'm
questions.
telling you, it gets deep, especially when you say like Zeke. Like how do you, I already knew where you was going with it. So how
Right.
do you
I'm
feel
like, how
about
do you
Zeke?
feel? Because I just feel like there's just no way that this man Zeke really just straight up just he did that as a kid. Now he's literally just working for Marley and all this stuff. Like I just think that there's got to be a lot more involved. And I think I don't know. I feel like there are gonna be more people that come out. Like even in the end of season 3, there was a scene where Aaron touched Historia's hand and he saw back when his dad first took the founding Titan's power and he had this crazy face, like he saw something crazy. I'm like, I want to know what he saw. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. Like it's just obvious that with this show you can't concentrate on literally just what's happening. Like literally just what's happening. Even the scene where Zeke and them had the little they had a meeting in the war room and Zeke said something and he said not in this room, but he just said not in this room. Like if the sentence was like, yeah, sometimes I eat, but not in this room. But then the dudes lit like, I didn't think nothing of it. But in the anime, the Marlians listening were like, oh, he said not in this room. And now I've been thinking about that, like, dang, like why does he say that? Like, does he have some sort of crazy plan? Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's
Yeah.
so
But
much
look,
happening.
thinking about you not even if you all right, so if you really even think about it right now, what's the main way that Aaron can really operate at his full capacity as far as like everything that he has in his blood as far as him being a Titan? Like, what is the only thing Aaron is missing is what Zeke has.
Royal blood.
You know what I'm saying? So I'll I would say like it's safe to say right now, and even with the ending, I mean, it's all masked, but I would say right now, Aaron needs his brother in order to do anything. I was along the founder Titan side of things. Like if he like,
Yeah.
and at this point they're a little bit older, so he knows. It's safe to assume that hopefully Aaron didn't train, got a little bit better. Of course, I know, but I don't. But you would assume that stuff that he's
Right,
got
right, right.
better as far as his abilities. Whatever Aaron has planned, he is going to need his brother, or in some kind of capacity, maybe Historia, because because
Yeah,
those are the only two Eldians that he pretty much has access to, who has royal blood flowing
real
through their
blood.
veins. So
Right. That's true. I mean, like we all, it's like a lot of the people I talk to, we focus on Historia, like, Aaron and Historia, like so he gonna have to use Historia. But I didn't even consider Zeke on the other end of all of that. Wow. Now my mind, I'm going down paths I wasn't
Yeah,
even.
I'm planting seeds right now.
You planting seeds. You're planting seeds. Okay, well, let me ask you. So you haven't finished. Is the manga done? Like, have they completed the manga already? Like, all the chapters are out?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's done. I believe that they're probably, if not, if the next chapter is not the final chapter, they're probably like a chapter or two out from being done. Cause like,
Mm,
yeah, I'm gonna just shut up on ain't no need to, but yeah, I was gonna say like what the heck they at now, but
okay. Okay.
the way everything is going is like what the heck else could happen? It has to be it. It has to be.
So what the heck else could happen? Okay. Okay. I look forward to that. I look forward to that. So, so obviously, at this point what Willie Tyber's announcement is, or what he thinks is the solution to the LDN problem. But before you knew, even, before you read deeper into it, all of that stuff, like what, because I think it's it often, because this LDM issue, like all of this is so much so just mirrors real worlds, what most minority groups go
Yeah,
through,
social
all of that
constructs
stuff.
now that we have.
Exactly. So like what would you say, like just looking at Attack on Titan in particular, like what would you as a creator, as a writer, or whatever, like how would you end things? Like disregarding whatever how would you kind of go about doing things? Like would you have Aaron, but see that's a hard question because you know more about the facts too though. Like you know more about what actually is going on.
But even so, like I can think back to like so if I think back to when I first started reading the manga at this point, and they were like, I guess like expanding out on as far as the world and everything. I was like, okay, there. All right, now we have an even bigger protagonist. 'Cause I was basically like, okay, if Aaron gets the Founding Titan and he calls I can't think of the name of it, but like pretty much the big Titan March, and it's like all the Titans that's in the walls wake up and basically stomp on the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, that's OP as hell. But when I, first coming into the manga, and I'm like, oh, there's a whole nother world. There are other humans that had like it's a real, the world does exist. There's planes, cars, like everybody's not on horseback and knives,
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, now if we have I guess, an enemy, like a government, like an outside threat, then I was kind of like, okay, you could call the Titan Walls and basically kind of be like, all right, we're gonna end this whole chapter of this facade and have all of the Titans versus kind of like the government, almost in a way, like Marlians and all that. And I was like, that could have been the ending. That's yeah. When I think back to where I was when I first was kind of seeing like, okay, I'm seeing all this political talk, and I'm like, there's a whole nother world they tell, talking about Reiner, his mother, like just him trying to, become a soldier and all this other stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, like we need to figure out who's the big cheese on this side. And and call out the 20, 30 colossal titans we got in the walls and had them, and just be a all out Titan war at the very end. Like I thought
Mhm.
that would have been at least visually. I'm like that would have been a nice uh dope bang for ending, you know what I mean? But once you kind of brought out a bigger threat, things that can basically kind of fight, I guess, on the human side, actually fight like a colossal titan, tanks and all this type of stuff. I was like, oh, okay, we could do a Titan Island versus the
Right.
military, you know what I mean, and just kind of be like, yeah, come up with some kind of political cause of why they have control or why our island is where you send your prisoners and turn them into Titans or other aliens. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Just kind of like
Yeah.
an all-out war and put a stop to that. But yeah,
No, I agree. I'm
it gets deep.
definitely,
The real story.
man. And it was crazy is I was already thinking this story was deep. Like I really like I really, my thing is always like for real though, like my thing is always when this whole thing started, it started off as all of humanity lived within these walls and these
Mm.
man eating beasts are after them, right? And they're trying to figure out why. And now it's literally an entire commentary on all these social, political, just all this stuff. Every
Social
time I
status and
watch
all,
it,
yeah. I'm like
yeah.
I feel like the writer could not have had all of that from the get go. Like, you know what I mean? I feel like maybe
Oh no,
when he
absolutely
was
not.
writing halfway in the third season, like, where the heck can I take this? Like, is when he was like, okay, this is an island. Maybe they don't know that there's other people. You know what I mean? Like, and you can kind of spin it that way. Like,
No, I agree. I think that I feel like there is no way that he in season one was like, so actually all of these people are descendants from Ymir and over on this other I think he might have had the concept of there's another place.
because even looking back, I didn't even think of where did I think they came from. Like when it was like Annie, you know what I mean? Like when I really go think back into when I was watching the show, like when I wasn't reading any manga of it, like it was just like okay, season Attack on Titan season one, and like of course the cliff, the main fight at the end was fight Annie Titan form and everything like that. You always know that she trained with her father, all this type of stuff, and I'm like, when I think back on it, I'm like, I really never thought about where the heck I thought they came from. As far as like Annie, Bertold, Reiner, you always heard Reiner say the whole warrior thing, or sometimes like Bertold would say that to him, like, we got to go back to being warriors and all this type of stuff. And it's like, where the heck is y'all from? But you just didn't just assume that they was just somewhere in these walls.
No, yeah. To be honest, I was just thinking
Like,
I was just assuming that they were from the same place, but I thought that there was like some underground thing, like there was like a secret government fashion or something like faction that was creating Titans, and there was like a whole like operation going on within their universe, within their country. Like I did not think that there was literally a complete world outside of, you know, not
yeah,
Marley, but Paradise Island at all. I just assumed that they were being trained
they
somewhere
even had an
else.
underground, like you said.
Huh?
As far as Levi and I'm like, and if you really remember, like they did. I mean, Paradise technically had an underground
You're right.
like slums. You know what I mean? As
Mm-hmm.
far as like Levi and his uncle, whatever Jack, is it Jack the Ripper? They was calling him. It was something.
Um,
But
was it Jack?
the serial,
Kenny.
I want to Kenny, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Kenny, that's what it was. But like, and even then, like, and that was kind of like a social, their own version within the walls. Like, if you came from the underground, the slums, it was like you was pretty much lower than a bum on the surface. You know
Right.
what I mean? It was just kind of like sickly. And here was Levi, he had Ackerman, and he's down there. His mother, his
Right.
mother's Ackerman, his uncle,
Right.
every, and these are pretty much like genetically. develop humans.
And we always talk about, like, I mean, I do a lot of thinking of what if Mikasa had a Titan. I want to see that so badly, but I mean, I guess she don't really need it because she already is. She's already that girl. But man, okay.
She feel like she got to protect Eren.
No, right, exactly. Okay, would you say that last thing? So, we end the episode with Reiner walking down to talk to Eren. It's a lot of speculation on what's about to happen. I feel like the next episode isn't about to be all action. I don't think it's about to be, okay, slice ourselves, the first 5 minutes we're already fighting. I feel like there's going to be some discussion. And I think maybe halfway through the episode, we might get some of that. I mean, I'm hoping we get to see some answers or something, like, Willie gonna get up on stage and say his little announcement. I'm excited for the next. Whatever we're gonna get, I know it's gonna calm me down a little bit. It's gonna give me some answers. At least I'm hoping so.
I will let you know this. It is going to go down.
I'm sure.
Eren is not over there for no. He is not there for no reason, man. Let me go Southern on you. Like, he is not there for no reason, man.
No, yeah, I already know. And I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get to see the rest of them come flying out either. But
what I'm curious to see is, because I don't recall, as far as reading it in the manga, there's always been this battle between the Attack Titan and the Armor Titan.
Oh, really?
As far as Eren and Reiner.
Oh, yes.
If you really think about it, they always had this standoff.
Right.
So I'm very curious to see, like, how is adult Eren? How is he going to, how is it? Because every time Reiner kind of escaped, like, on some.
Reiner escaped by the
like
skin
a
of
little
his teeth.
hair. Yeah, like every time. So I'm curious. That's all I say. Like, once it go down, like, how is this new adult fight gonna go?
Nah, yeah. I seriously can't wait. I'm pressed that we have to skip a week and a new episode didn't come out, but absolutely I already know next week is gonna be good. I think the next couple of episodes, I want to say the next probably, I don't know for sure, but I foresee at least the next 2 or 3 are gonna be like mind blowing. I'm already knowing, but okay, that is all. We have dove deep into this. I am, like I said, excited for the next episode. Can't wait to find out. I'm pretty sure after all is said and done, I'm dang near probably gonna have to go back and read the manga, because
what's gonna happen is they're gonna do it. They're gonna do another break and have you wait, and then.
No, I know. I know. That's what everyone keeps saying. It like it's gonna be a break, and you're gonna read it. I'm like, As long as that break not longer than like 8 months. You think it's gonna be longer than like 8 months?
Man, heck no, they better not.
I hope not.
I'm thirsty for. I ain't gonna lie though. I'm thirsty for Bleach to come back. I'm on the countdown for that.
For Bleach? Oh, I totally agree. Can't wait. Literally can't wait.
Supposedly it's coming back. We gonna see. Like, if randomly they just be like, yeah, the creators of Bleach went bankrupt. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's never happening.
Right, it's never happening. Literally, we gonna see. I'm gonna hold my breath for that one, low key.
Right.
All right, Ben, thanks for coming on. Tell the folks where they can find you on social media.
On Facebook, I go under IGB Sano. And then also you can check out even that Gauge animation we were talking about earlier. Check out some of my videos on YouTube. Just search Shampoo 29 and check me out. Give me some likes.
Absolutely, give him some likes. Yes. So make sure you guys check him out. I'm gonna put all of his info in the description box. So make sure you guys look that up on Facebook and YouTube. And you guys can find me on all of the social medias at _anime. Make sure you guys check out my YouTube. I have a lot more Attack on Titan videos and different content and stuff on YouTube. So make sure you guys check that out. Subscribe, like, all the good stuff. And I will catch you guys next time. Bye.